Millions of Americans across 13 states are about to pay sky-high electric bills starting in June. The last time this happened, PG&E actually filed bankruptcy in California. Here's what you need to know and the 3 moves to make before the summer bill payments increase.
You opened the utility bill last month and the number was higher than last year. Not by a few dollars, enough that you looked at it twice. Same house, same appliances, same routine. That number changed because of a decision made in December that had nothing to do with how much electricity you used and everything to do with how much a data center you have never heard of is projected to need in 2027 and 2028. If you live in one of 67 million households across 13 states, the bill is going to keep climbing regardless of what you do with the thermostat. Before the June option removes the only cap that held that number back, here is who set the price, how much of it is already on your bill, and whether a project that will raise it further is already filed in your county. It may come as a shock to some, but this is not a drill. Please, if you experience a surge in price, share below in the comments to keep others informed. What has been confirmed is this. PJM Interconnection, the grid operator covering 67 million customers across 13 states and Washington, D.C., cleared its 2027 and 2028 capacity auction at $16.4 billion. Joe Bowering, the federally appointed independent market monitor for PJM, formally certified 3 consecutive PJM auctions as non-competitive, 3 in a row. When a federal market monitor puts that on paper, it means one thing. The price was not set by the market. It was set by load forecasts from hyperscalers. Of the $16.4 billion cleared, $6.5 billion is data center attributable. $6.2 billion of that is tied to data centers that have not been built yet. So where are these data centers? Who is building them, and how much of that $6.5 billion is landing on your bill specifically? Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are spending between $690 and $725 billion combined on data center build-out in 2026. Stu Bresler, PJM's Executive Vice President of Market Services, confirmed $1.4 billion in additional capacity costs beginning June 2026. That is not a forward estimate. That is the confirmed number landing on your bill this month. If you are in PJM territory that covers Delaware, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and D.C., Carnegie Mellon University projects an 8% national rate increase and 25% in the regions most exposed. IEEFA's analysis attributed 63% of PJM's price increase directly to data center load growth. That translates to $9.3 billion in costs recovered from customers across PJM in higher electric rates. In Washington, D.C., Pepco residential customers saw their bills go up by an average of $21 per month starting in June 2025. The D.C. Office of Consumers Counsel estimates $10 of that monthly increase is from the capacity market spike alone. In Western Maryland, residential customers are paying approximately $18 more per month. In Ohio, roughly $16 more per month. And that is the capped number. The cap was negotiated by Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and it expires after this auction cycle. The next option runs in June 2026. There will be no ceiling. Without the cap, the clearing price would have been $530 per megawatt day instead of $333, 60% higher. So what does that mean in real dollars on your bill? It is projected that the average family in PJM territory faces an estimated $70 per month increase by 2028. NRDC estimates cumulative capacity costs of $100 to $163 billion through 2033. Before the cap, PJM's annual capacity costs averaged $8 to $10 billion. Now they are projecting $27 to $30 billion per year. That is your bill. That is your neighbor's bill. That is every household in 13 states absorbing the cost of a build-out they did not vote for. For the first time in PJM's entire history, the grid failed to procure enough power to meet its own reliability standard. It fell short by 6,623 megawatts. Sarah Moskowitz, executive director of the Citizens Utility Board, put it plainly: consumers are getting the worst of all worlds, paying more money for reduced electric reliability while existing generators collect a windfall. That windfall is specific. Constellation Energy cleared approximately $2.2 billion in capacity revenue for the delivery year. Vistra cleared $1.3 billion. Talon Energy cleared $1.1 billion. Ryan Augsburger called it exactly what it is. Customers are paying to enrich legacy plants, not to build new generation. PJM projects. Peak demand will grow by 32 gigawatts from 2024 to 2030. All but 2 gigawatts of that growth comes from data centers. Against that 32 gigawatt demand surge, only 774 megawatts of new generation cleared in this auction. Less than 1% new supply against a demand wave orders of magnitude larger. That is the gap. And that gap is why the grid fell short for the first time in history. And that gap is why your bill is going up. And that gap is why the reliability of the power you are paying more for is actually going down. If you have made it this far, you already know who set the bill and how much it is costing you.
Hey everyone, real quick. While everyone else is paying high rates of electricity, and so are we, so are you and I, why not just get ready to crush it? People are walking away from their homes. Home prices are falling. We're going into that next cycle. There's the 4 courses that I put together, the real estate cycles course, the bear market real estate course, and so much more. 2 other courses for one insane low price. Take a look at it, links down below, and start learning how to make money from this tragedy. It's going to be great. Now let's get back to the video.
Here is why this is not just an American problem, and why the grid strain is sweeping internationally. This is happening everywhere. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation issued a level 3 alert on May 8th, 2026. That is their highest level, essential action. They said grid operators lack sufficient processes, procedures, or methods to address risks associated with computational loads. They said data centers are prone to wild power swings. The constant rapid fluctuations between extremely high and extremely low power use levels can put entire electric grids at risk of going offline. They said these swings can occur in seconds, leaving little or no room for real-time responses. NERC asked grid operators to take immediate action and file risk mitigation plans by August 3rd. Joe Bowering told CNBC it is at a crisis stage right now. PJM has never been this short. Rob Gramlich said he expects the debate over data centers to become even more intense. In Austin, Texas, a new analysis found that data centers have the potential to overwhelm the city's entire system. Some proposed data centers are seeking more than 5 gigawatts. In New York, the independent system operator estimates the state's grid could be 1.6 gigawatts short of reliability requirements by 2030. In Palm Beach County, Florida, residents successfully postponed the construction of a proposed 200-acre data center complex. One local opponent said it plainly: "No good comes of having an AI data center near you." Now look at what is happening outside the United States. The Philippines just declared a national energy emergency on March 24th, 2026. Was the first country to declare an energy emergency. The crisis may push 1.3 to 3.1 million Filipinos into poverty. Shopping malls reduced operating hours, airlines suspended routes, tourism arrivals dropped 40 to 50%. That is what grid failure looks like when it arrives. The Philippines is dealing with a fuel supply crisis on top of structural grid weakness. The United States is dealing with a demand crisis. Same outcome. The grid cannot keep up. The bills go up, the reliability goes down, and the people who did not cause the problem pay for it. You already sense your bill is creeping. Here is what they have not told you about the data center near you and what you can actually do about it. Here is the reality. This is happening whether you know it or not. Homeowners and regular people are getting hosed. The states facing the steepest increases right now, based on the data, are Virginia, where the Dominion Energy Zone faces capacity fees 65% higher than the rest of the PJM grid, and the state's own legislative auditor projects $14 to $37 more per household per month by 2040. Residential customers absorb the full cost. Maryland, where a formal complaint was filed showing residents will pay $1.6 billion more in power bills due to out-of-state data centers. Western Maryland residents are already paying $18 more per month. Ohio, where residents are paying roughly $16 more per month. Pennsylvania, where a precedent-setting rate case is underway to protect residential electricity customers. PPL will raise residential rates by 4.9% on July 1st. New Jersey, where capacity prices cleared at the FERC cap. Washington, D.C., where Pepco customers already absorbed a $21 monthly increase. Illinois, where data center load is growing and wholesale power prices across PJM increased 54% between 2024 and 2025, from $43.5 billion to $67 billion. What you can do is straightforward. Pull your last 12 months of electric bills. Find the capacity charge or rate rider line item. That is the line that reflects the PJM auction cost. Calculate the year-over-year increase on that specific line. If you are in any of those 13 states, set a bill alert for any month that exceeds your 12 months average by more than 10%. That is your early warning system. Add the projected increase to your monthly budget now. If you are in Virginia, the JLARC range is $14 to $37. If you are in DC, it is already $21. Build that number into your housing cost calculation today, not as a surprise in August, as a planned line item. And if you are making a housing decision, check whether a data center build zone is active in your county. You can track this. PJM publishes its interconnection queue. It shows every proposed data center and power plant waiting to connect to the grid. The queue is public, the data is free. If a large-scale data center project is in the queue for your county, the capacity charge on properties in that area will reflect it before the data center ever opens. Substation upgrades and transmission extensions move into property tax assessments in utility rate riders before a single server goes live. That is the information edge. Use it before you sign anything. The full positioning playbook for the utility budget, the bill prep math, and the housing decision mapped to the data center build zones is inside the real estate crash bundle. The link is in the description. This video connects directly to the migration cascade, the store closure wave, and the food crisis countdown I have covered in this series. The data center pass-through is the infrastructure layer underneath every other signal. Grab the bundle while the positioning window is still open. What the auction filing did not say out loud is this. A Blackstone subsidiary called QTS operates a data center campus in Fayette County, Georgia, under a project codenamed Excalibur. During construction, QTS drew 29 million gallons of water through connections the county did not know existed. The connections were unmetered. The water was untracked. For 9 to 15 months, during a drought, the county was telling residents to stop watering their lawns to conserve water. Residents in a nearby subdivision were reporting unusually low water pressure. The retroactive bill the county sent QTS was $147,474. The county chose not to fine them. The water system director explained the decision by saying QTS is their largest customer and they have to be partners. A local attorney obtained the county letter through a public request. His words, "The first thing they do is lean on the individuals. When QTS is just absolutely draining us." Fayetteville has since banned new data centers in every zoning district. The Georgia Public Service Commission froze Georgia Power's base rates through 2028 specifically to prevent data centers from shifting costs. The electricity transfer is documented in the auction. The water transfer was never filed anywhere. Your bill is one piece of the extraction, not the whole thing. So the question is this: is it happening near you? Because more are being built. The interconnection queue is growing. Energy is getting more expensive. The cap expires in June. The next auction has no ceiling. Pay attention to the PJM filings. Pay attention to your county planning commission. Pay attention to the capacity charge line on your bill. Do the research now. Stay ahead of this. Because by the time the number on your bill makes you look twice again, the decision was already made 6 months ago. Economic Ninja is out.